scary skeletons and shivers
I see
down
what
your
happened.
spine.
Never mind, we're good. We're
Shrieking
good.
skulls will shock your soul
We're
and seal your doom tonight.
All right, sorry guys, my power went out. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, my power went out. It went from just drizzling outside to suddenly I heard a loud like fucking crash of thunder, and then my power just died. And Coco came running in, took Marin's power. Apparently. Okay. Let me see here. I'm sorry about that, guys. That was a pain, and we're also gonna end up with an ad break in a second. Here, let me... Oh, where's the... How do I pause? Oh, there it is. Okay, that's very, very weird. But hold on, let me check something really quick. I don't know if it's gonna happen again, so... Force nature to not control them? Yeah, it scared me too, because like, the lights went off and I was like, what the fuck? And then the battery for the PC just like went haywire and just goes beep, 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 beep. And like, oh, no, hello? Hello? But at least I don't have to reboot the entire computer. Thank God. Thank God. All right. But I guess we're going to wait for... That also probably means I have to refresh. Let me go check. Yeah, I have to refresh the words on stream. Because it's busted. All right. The ad break should start. Yeah, it just started. Okay. All right, guys. I'm still going to chill here, but I will give you all the music and the words on stream while we wait for things to catch back up. You on backup? Power's back on. Power's back on. My modem is not on the battery, so the modem dies. The modem dies when the power goes out. The paintress is trying to keep Meredith from the expedition. She knows I'm gonna whoop her. She knows I'm gonna fucking whoop her ass. I say, totally not, having basically just failed the tutorial dodge mission. You know, as they do. As they do. And weirdly enough, I am already too hot for this fucking hoodie. I'm already too hot for this hoodie, so give me just a second. Okay. Okie dokie. Oh, soccer. Okay. I was like, what is that? Oh, goodness. All right, hold on. I also need to go check something really quick. Because when the power was out, I looked down at my phone, and apparently there's something somebody wants me to look at. Because apparently there are certain positions I want to check out. Let me see here. Oh, okay. Uh-oh. Wait a second. Wait, that can't be right. Okay. Ah, okay, I see. Yeah, somebody sent me a thing to go look at for like SpaceX. I'm gonna give you another round while I look at this. And they were like, it's right up your alley. And I'm gonna guess that they didn't look at like any of the fucking... What was it? They didn't look at the fucking requirements for it, because these requirements are insane. But... Wait. Is this where it is? Fish? Wait, is Fish working? Is Fish working? Because I don't know what all's working with the internet having died and like come back. Is Fish working? I don't think Fish is working. Fish? Okay, yeah, it's not working. It's not working. Let me close it and reopen it really quickly. Feeps. Where's Feeps? There it is. Okay. I couldn't tell you. I know you couldn't tell me. That's why I was checking, and you made me remember by hitting the fish. But yeah, I'm glad that at least my PC didn't restart, because it would be a pain to like reboot up everything. But hold on. What the heck? Why are they... Hold on, this isn't right. At least I don't think it's right. Why? Here, I need to go look up keywords for this. Okay, that didn't work. Yeah, that didn't work either. Well, I'll message them later. I can't find anything of what she's describing. Let me see real quick. Let me check her text. Hold on. I had to get the food ready, so now I just have to wait for people to go eat. Ooh, bald Pat. What do you mean, bald Pat? What do you mean? Not bald. Not bald. How could you? All right, hold on. Hold on. Okay. Some smock sausage and a potato salad. What is a smock sausage? Goopy, you goofball, you know it doesn't work on this model. Sorry, I was scratching my nose, and I don't know why tracking goes out the window when I'm scratching my nose. Okay. All right. No more music. We're good. We're good to go. Let's do this. What were we doing? Heading down still. Me taking my sweet ass time with the tutorial.
I feel sorry for her.
Sorry for who?
The paintress?
Look at her. She looks sad.
Wait, where?
Maybe she's a prisoner too. Stuck in the same cycle with us. Silly her.
Only you could choose empathy at a moment like this.
Oh.
It's one of the few choices I can make.
Okay.
I couldn't do it.
It's okay.
What do you mean, look at her?
don't
Can you,
have
like,
to.
see her? Where? She's not, like, on the statue. She's not... Oh, hey!
Oh, hi, Sophie.
Broken Triumph Arch? It could be. It could be.
I didn't expect to see you here.
I'm
Although I don't know
volunteering
how
to
far
help
away
guide
the Arc
children
de
who are
Triomphe
losing their
is
parents to the
from
orphanage. Those who
the...
weren't registered for foster
the...
families.
What is it? The Tower of Paris? Eiffel Tower. That's the word I'm looking for. I couldn't think... I was like, Eiffel was escaping
How
me.
kind of you.
Eiffel was
Guess I
escaping me
can relate.
really heavily. I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure they're not technically far from each
Take
other.
care during the expedition. Gustav told me a lot.
Because it's like part of the historical
district.
district, if I remember right.
About you two. I always told him you two should never have broken up.
Yeah, because it's also the Eiffel Tower is technically... Wait, you said you worked on the Eiffel Tower? Not that surprised. Considering the Eiffel Tower was originally meant to be
That's-
temporary for the World's Fair,
That's
they
where we
have
disagreed.
constant repairs for that thing.
But I have hope that you and
I'm enjoying
Gustav
it. We're still in the
change
prologue,
things.
though, so we've only
So
had, like,
no one has to go
tutorial
through this
combat.
impossible choice again.
We've only had tutorial combat.
Yeah. Let's hope we will.
But yeah, it was made into a radio tower in, I believe, World War II.
See you.
I'm pretty sure it was World War II when it was made into a radio tower.
In the next life.
Fuck you, I'm coming back. Hold on, I want to see what's going on over here. No, you're right. That is the Arc de Triomphe. That's exactly what it is. Wow. Okay. All right, what are you doing, boss? Okay, I don't exactly understand what's happening behind you, but okay.
It's crazy to use pictos on your own body.
Okay, what are
Why?
pictos?
Aren't you enjoying the show?
Nah, the show's great, but etching chroma onto your skin, oh, that's brutal.
Chroma?
Just for a
Wait,
dance.
are they tattoos? Have I not noticed that yet? But like, I don't see anything on these ladies' bodies.
I'll stick to painting pictos on my machines. I'm not cuckoo enough to put them on my body.
Okay, so they're like
Could be
tattoos,
useful
sort
then.
of?
The expeditions
Metal
rely on them
tattoos?
quite heavily.
And those that have been listening to the music? Oh.
Yeah, they're crazy too. But at least you can remove pictos pretty easily if you change your mind.
Is it like paint? Metal paint or something? Oh, there's a lot of space over here. Oh, wow. But, wait. If this is the Arc de Triomphe, which in our world is in like the middle of the city, why is there a harbor here? That means the painters would have had to sunk like...
Oh, I think I'm gonna vomit.
God, if this is just a massive ocean here. Like 60% of Paris? Of materia? That's
Don't forget.
probably it, actually. Sorry, and now I'm being nosy because of... Oh, there's something over here. Hey, buddy. And what are you? Chroma. Oh. Oh, okay. All right, time to move. Oh, wait. I saw that. You!
I'll see you soon.
Benoit! Okay, that was it. All right, we've lollygagged enough. I want to start getting to the main part of the story.
I've always loved the harbor.
If you like sceneries, there's some beautiful scenes in this game. I mean, this game already looks awesome. Oh. Ah. And the homage will start. You want to head to the harbor? Yes. So, does she awaken at... Oh.
I see your apprentices.
Ooh.
Gustav!
What?
Here, Sophie asked us to bring you your coat.
We sewed up the sleeves.
Look at
so
how
you don't
proud
have to
he
keep
is, the
rolling
boy
it
in the
up.
blue.
You guys know how to
He looks
sew?
so
Sophie
proud.
helped us. Turns out it's not that hard. We really should have done this ages ago.
I swear I recognize that voice
You did
too.
this?
Gentlemen, that was supposed to be between us, yeah?
Ah, yes. Smug children.
I wanted
Saneful
to
Interactions'
do
first game
something.
that puts most modern AAA titles to shame, and it's $50.
Soph,
Frankly,
thanks,
a
guys.
good
This
price. Well,
is
it's
great.
not the best
Thank you.
price, but
See you at the festival?
Don't leave without saying goodbye.
Yeah, of course not.
hold on.
What? I know that face.
You mean a lot to them. I can tell.
Yeah, they mean a lot to me too. Legacy can take many forms, right?
Yeah,
Hold on.
You told me that.
right.
Why?
Okay. Why? Why what?
I wanted to see you.
Oh, what the hell happened to my tracking? What happened to my tracking? How dare you? Yeah. Quit looking up. Maybe, hold on. Let me do something real quick. Oh, what the hell? Hello? Okay, something's not right. Why am I slanted? What happens? Why is this? Jesus. I'm sorry about the audio, guys. Why is it doing this? Hold on. Let me close the tracking thing. Oh my God. I think it's because the tracking goes through Wi-Fi. There we go. That's a little more like it. Okay, that's perfect. There we go. Okay. Oh my God, the music. I'm sorry I missed that. I hate that I missed all of that. He loves he became a father figure for the boys. Aww. Actually punch someone under the Eiffel Tower? Good. That's where you punch people in France. That makes sense. Gotta restart for the music? No! Also, his arm looks kind of sick. Okay. Was only this cutscene? I was sold immediately and bought it? Hell yeah. Wow, you really can just see her from Lumiere. So how does the expedition work if she is just like right there? Marin Jackson, oh my God. The nails, it's nails on the stage. Oh, the tiny backpack. What all could you possibly carry in that backpack? It's gonna be interesting to see cosplayers try to make that backpack. Is it a throne? Is she sitting on a throne? Oh, okay, this moment where they're both now just standing before her. Does she do any actual painting? Wait, who is that? That's the paintress. That's our big bad, seemingly. Is this our Marvel? I don't feel so good. There are so many 33-year-olds. What the hell? Oh, she was 33. The one lady that was like bitching at us? Okay, so do they cover the point that like, does she, what's the word? Okay, there's no way all these people are 33. There's no way.
I'm here.
We get our main character that gets like the long drawn out moments. Is she harvesting them for pigment? I don't think so, because they all seem to turn into like red leaves. Yeah, but it's been counting down, which means it already killed all the people that were 34 and older. Well, yeah, those were petals from the flowers that they were carrying. But those, I don't think those are the same plants. So the paintress only gets up, I guess, once a year to paint the number. And then she's just back down asleep in the chair. Okay, I need more. I need more explanation. Thing is, too, is I thought the guy was older than her. I could have sworn the guy was older than her. Just in general appearances. Festival Day Expedition. We're taking away your ink, no more numbers. Well, it doesn't seem like she actually scrawls anything. She places her hand on it, the previous number disappears, and then she slides her hand down it, and the new number appears. So I don't know how much painting she's actually doing. I swear I recognize that guy. Did they model him after an actor?
There you are. You can't hide from us, you know. Like I said, mourning's best done with friends.
Lucian,
What? It is. Grieving alone's the worst.
That is true. That is very true.
where's mine?
So this game has no previous information about the lore other than the
Something,
game.
Something.
I know that one of the trailers they had explained it, but
no,
I feel like
could use a
we're
drink.
gonna get like a big exposition moment because there's no way that they just left the expedition, all the exposition for like the backstory to the trailers
5
that aren't even in
tables
the
this year.
game, right?
You see that? Told you we'd beat the 34s. Even Mael showed up and she hates these things. Wanna go take a look?
I don't. Maybe later.
It does get us played later on. I figured there'd be like a transition from
I'm okay.
the prologue to chapter 1
Yeah.
that like we get like a
Sorry for a
big
refill
long
anyway.
exposition period.
There's
Is
an
that
excess
it's
of
just
wine
France?
again.
Really?
Thank you, sister, for her generosity.
I would like to know what's
Oh,
going
and
on
try
like
to enjoy yourself.
globally.
Don't drink alone, you weirdo.
Can you imagine being like the rest of the world? Be like, why haven't the French dealt with this yet? Why haven't the French dealt with this? Or was France just pulled into like an alternate dimension and it's hell? It's hell. Use both festival to get prizes.
Let's at least check on Mael and my apprentices.
Okay, hold on. What is this? What are you?
Hey, Gustav. Check out the new pictos I made.
Looks a bit rough. You sure it works?
Okay. Bon journey of life. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Somebody hit Grins.
I've been working on this for
Get the
months.
gun.
It's my personal masterpiece.
Your personal masterpiece seems a little unorthodox.
It's dead useful, trust me. Come on, give it a whirl.
Sure, why not?
Oh.
Great.
Oh, she shot
I'll
him.
trade it for one
Amazing.
token.
Okay, yeah, give me.
Morbid curiosity.
You won't regret it. Probably.
Oh. Quick inspection is enough to say that it's unusable as is. God damn it. It's my... Okay. Character overview. Equipped weapon. Pictos. Okay. Selecting any of the luminous slots. Wardrobe. I guess because oh wait, what? Okay. Oh, hold on a second, chat. I'm getting a phone call. United police officers, my ass. United police officers can shove off. All right, hold on. So wait. Where did this costume come from? Okay, this is the one because they gave me the deluxe edition. But okay, I'm fine with the rest of these. Do I have... No, I don't. Okay. Any actual Pictos? Possible see the list of available Pictos and change characters. Equip Pictos. Shown here can have 3 Pictos equipped at a time. Character cannot equip the same Pictos at the same time. That's just sorting. After winning 4 battles in Picto Equip, it'll be mastered. Ooh. Activated Lumina without having the Pictos equipped. Ooh, okay, okay. Okay, so, hold on. Where is Weird Pictos? Okay. Yeah, seems like I can't do anything with it. I wonder how pension schemes work in this world. They probably don't. They probably don't. Miss Ma'am, what are you wearing?
Hey, Amandine. Having fun?
Oh, hey, handsome. Perfect timing. I'm styling everyone before we ship out. Gotta look sharp
Okay.
when we hit the paint, you
Okay.
say.
Yeah, it's a quest item, I figured.
Certainly important. Can you...
On it.
Oh, shit.
Just bring me a token first.
Damn it! How do I get more tokens? Do I only get one? Do I actually have to, like, pick?
These all yours?
You gonna lecture me on drinking?
Hey, yo, we got midriff.
I wouldn't dare.
We got
Just
midriff. Let's
calculating how
go.
much it'll hurt to
Let's
catch
go. You can get 2 more. Ah.
You can start now. Here, let's have a toast.
It's interesting that you only need, what, 4 battles?
Sophie.
To, like, get the
Who was
permanent passive?
always-
That's interesting.
To Soph. Seriously, though, this is gonna hurt tomorrow.
Tomorrow comes, but it
She
ain't
reminds
here
me of
yet.
somebody, too. I like her
I'm
scars.
not crossing the sea sober.
How we figure it out. I think I kind of want to figure it out.
Sober's better than deathly hungover.
Can I do it now, or
No,
is it like throughout the
not
game?
for that.
Is it throughout the game, or do I need to do it now?
Ah,
Fang from 14? Fang from 14.
Go have some drinks.
No, she reminds me of some live action character for some reason.
Come, let's play some cards.
no way. Everyone knows you cheat.
That's just what sore losers say. Come now. You're going to be a little cautious mouse with the paint
Aware about
soon.
Fang? No idea. No idea.
Cautious is good.
I hope it's like the Toy Gun
Keeps you
Dirge of
alive.
Cerberus, where if you upgrade it over the course of the game, it becomes the best weapon in the game. Really? I wonder.
We're expeditioners. Stay smart, yes, but be bold, huh? You can't win if you don't play.
Grins, are you still alive?
Money's no good out there anyway. Why are you trying to fleece me?
'Cause winning's fun.
Because you're a dork. All y'all really just kind
There's
of...
other survivors out there,
Doubtful. We would have seen signs.
but not impossible.
I mean, theoretically. Only 4 battles thing is because there are hundreds of Pictos in the game, so 100% wouldn't be insanely grindy if it took more battles. That makes sense.
Maybe if they have shield
Wait, there's
domes.
hundreds?
But they would have been overrun
Hundreds?
by Nevrons before they could build any.
We were lucky the fracture dropped us out here. Bought us time to get
I don't know
our
how I feel
defenses
about that. That's a lot. Hi, Bosrog. Welcome in.
People are resourceful, and Nevrons can't be everywhere.
500,
I'm
and they're
betting on
all
human
unique?
ingenuity.
up. I like that.
Are certain Pictos only, like, relevant to certain
Money.
characters?
Gustav,
This is the commander. This man is our
saw
commander.
you with Sophie. You talked.
Yeah, yeah.
If you search for all of them, yes? Jesus. Okay.
Where's your daughter?
Leona's upset. Doesn't want
Can be
to
used
see
by
me.
all? Okay, gotcha. Gotcha.
Shit.
It's okay. She doesn't need to understand, as long as she gets to live.
Wait, how old is she?
I'm counting on you.
No pressure, huh?
All the pressure.
Oh, no.
Quite literally, all the pressure in the
Lots of
world.
Pressure. You and Lune and your Lumina tech, that's our edge.
Thanks, but that's not. Everyone has a role. Lucien, Tristan, Catherine, and you.
Wait,
made
is
us
what he
into
has unique? I don't know if it seems like it.
We have a really good team, thanks to you. That's our edge.
Tomorrow comes, my friend.
Doesn't it always?
The sun will always rise. What is this?
I can't believe you're working right now.
Tristan dragged me here.
Ah, this is Loon. I like her. I like her hair and her voice and her vest. Nice. Oh, those are the chromas on her arm.
Is that
Okay.
the final spot? It's amazing you triangulated Expedition Zero's landing site.
0?
Theoretically.
extrapolated from the archives, but it was 67 years ago.
She also looks like she has tattoos coming down her eye.
The landscape has changed.
Gustav's a techie? That's what it seemed like. I figured with the arm.
I trust your calculations.
So you made tech to help? Oh.
Thanks.
It's a good strategy, tracing their steps. They're the only expedition with any survivors, and they made it to the monolith, so...
Assuming the records are correct, my calculations are correct, that they left clear markers, that the road conditions haven't changed.
Interesting. Okay.
You need a drink.
So what he was doing previously was like all of his like...
Go away, Gustav.
His like regular tech? It was just like the tech that he made? Alright, those are the apprentices. I didn't like that. I didn't like the fact that I turned and they were staring at me. Just like that lady over there. Okay, I'll go talk to her.
You came.
I wasn't sure if I should.
You've been avoiding us. You didn't have to.
Wait, wasn't she a practical scientist?
I heard Seba filled my spot after I left.
Yeah.
You gave up? You gave up on the expedition? Coward. Coward!
Do you think I'm a coward for staying?
Called it. Called it!
Do you?
Not anymore. Not all of us can change the world. Some of us can only change ourselves.
Listen, that was kind of funny.
Meaning what?
Coward! Do you think I'm a coward? Yes.
Make yourself accept the unacceptable. Make believe that happiness
Also made by the
is-
apprentices? Oh, interesting.
More like rediscover happiness. One Gomash left. Maybe contentment is the highest form of happiness.
Is it,
It makes me
contentment? Just being content is enough? No, I want to
sad. You
thrive.
stole so many things, including your capacity to dream.
No, you misunderstand.
I did. I took the jacket
is
off.
where I can be free.
I took the jacket off.
Can't touch
I mean, I
me
can put it
there.
back.
This is my final act of defiance. Just like the expedition is yours.
What was the question?
If you say so.
Okay. I still can't get over the tiny backpack with like... I swear that's supposed to be a sleeping mat, but that mat just looks like a flat pillow. All right, let's see what these two are talking about.
Hey.
Hey, yourself. You okay? Want to talk about it?
Yeah,
All right.
actually, no.
The 5-sided backpack. Was it 5 sides? Maybe it was 5 sides.
That's okay.
It was kind of like cut diamond shape, weirdly.
What about you?
I like her
You
outfit
say
too.
goodbye to Derek?
She looks fucking killer. I like the purple
Oh.
vest.
That was over ages ago.
Oh, sorry.
Also, the dude behind me just staring daggers at me.
I really thought
Jesus.
you guys would work out.
Look at him. Look at him back there.
It's for the best. I need full focus on the expedition and our team.
The jacket, the double-breasted vest.
Yeah. We're all we have.
Do we need to talk to you too?
Or a hug?
Fucking
Keep your
Lucian.
sweat to yourself.
Bring Gustav a glass of wine.
Who exactly are you talking to? They cut servers from the budget years ago.
Ah, the ultimate indignity. A farewell party where we serve ourselves. There's a metaphor in there somewhere.
Is it? Also, look at all the broken fucking salvage, I guess? I don't know.
I'm betting you've got another bottle stashed in your coat somewhere. You gonna share?
You wound me. But yes, in fact, I do have a bottle. Always be prepared. Or was it always bring backup? Same difference.
Is it? Is it?
And I am prepared. Prepared to live. And prepared to die.
Please tell me Lucian stays cool throughout the entire game.
Hey. We've got your Lumina converter, yeah? I believe. I'm ready for my Lumina.
Yeah, well, we've only tested it here. Who knows what we'll meet on the main continent? We'll need more field testing once we land.
Okay.
Don't worry, buddy.
Still haven't fully comprehended what the Lumina is exactly, or
Great.
what this converter
Thanks,
is. Oh, Jesus. Camera. Hello. And who the fuck are you?
Gustav. Just the man I wanted to see.
I don't trust you.
You want a rematch?
I don't trust a bald man in a suit.
Well, it's my last chance, isn't it?
Oh, shit.
After tomorrow, you'll be the undisputed expert on expedition history.
That's tomorrow. What about today?
Let's do
Who
it.
am I to deny you?
Let's do it.
How many years ago was the fracture?
You're kidding. This is your question.
Yes. When did our world
what
break
the
apart
fuck?
and our luminous city get thrown into the middle of the ocean? Hmm? When was the
Oh.
fracture?
Okay. I'm gonna guess 67 years ago, because we don't know, like, I don't personally know. Does it, if it counts down from 100? I'm pretty sure it's 67. I'm gonna go with 67.
years ago.
Brilliant. I concede.
That's it.
You are
That's the one
undisputed
question.
expert.
What are you talking about? Every child knows this. The monolith's essentially a reverse calendar, counting down since the fracture happened in year 100.
All right, fine. Another
Okay,
one.
there we go. Let's say he's not gonna give up
Which was the
that
first
easily.
expedition to depart for the continent?
Expedition 0, I'm guessing.
Expedition 0.
Correct.
Luckily, we didn't. I would have not known that
They
one.
left in year 100. They should be called
I would have
Expedition
not known
100.
that.
Makes no
But
sense. Lumiere will be long gone before the monolith hits 0. All right, last
well, yeah,
one.
because there's gonna be
Get it
no
right, maybe
fucking
I'll give you a
kids.
token.
I'm terrified to think of the possibility of, like, if they counted down all the way to fucking, like, less than 18. I think that's just game over at that point.
What is Illumina?
I don't fucking know. Abilities you've internalized by using a Pictos in battle after enough times? Let's go
Abilities
with that.
you internalize by using a Pictos
Let's go with
in
that,
battle
I
after
guess.
enough times.
Well done. Well done.
Not
Okay.
really. I mean, I created the Lumina converter, so...
I hereby officially end our feud. With your
Officially in
departure,
our feud. Hi, Oro. How are you doing?
Lumiere loses a brilliant light. And a good friend.
Oh my goodness.
You big softy.
I was about to say, he's being so sappy.
All right. Here's a token.
We get a token, yes. Okay. Is there other people I can talk to? Who haven't I talked to? I haven't talked to this child. What are you doing, kid? What are you doing? Wow. Oh, that's it. Okay. You. Oh, I'm pretty sure I talked to you first.
I'm pacing myself.
Ah, you're so boring. It's all.
I like that you say when and not if.
What can I say? I'm an optimist. Or an
Oh,
idiot.
this is Seba. This is who they mentioned.
Depends on who you ask.
Matt Murdock himself? Oh my god. We talked to you because I liked your fucking style. Whoops.
Hello there, Gustav.
Colette, you've been...
Relics
Okay.
from before the fracture, passed down through the generations. The council deemed them trinkets, but I think otherwise.
It's kind of you to share.
Yeah, I figured there was another one. I figured these are the 3 stands that we
I
can
may
get
not
stuff
be able
from.
to join the expedition, but I'd still like to help. 1 token is all I ask.
Ah, I should have known.
Okay. Yeah,
Yes,
gimme.
I'm curious. Here's a...
Take good care of it. Godspeed.
Old key. Okay. So who else haven't we talked to? The last one is her that we need to talk to, but we need to find a token. Whale's down there. Let's go talk to the apprentices. I think. Oh, we haven't talked to you.
Ready for tomorrow?
Yeah.
His name's
Been
Bastian.
ready. What about you?
Good name.
Heard
Good
you were
name.
elected Commander 32.
I've already claimed Alon's office.
You look so much older than 32, my guy.
A view of the Paintress. You're sicker than I thought.
She won't be there for long.
Is that what
If
you
we
say?
fail, though.
What is up with these people that look so much older than like 33?
When one falls, we continue.
I do not believe for a
We'll pick up
second all of these
and we'll
people
push on.
are like below
But
30.
I know we will meet again.
All right, let's talk to these. Oh shit!
Gustav, we got something for you.
It's the book. I can't even click it.
For your field notes.
Okay, there we
So,
go.
when you come back,
Seeing
you can
others
tell us
disappear
everything.
on you stresses you the fuck out. Yeah.
Definitely won't
Retro
get
Loan,
from
thank you
the
for the
museum.
spot.
The complete record
Oh.
of the expedition that destroyed the
I'm
Paintress.
sorry, I missed that. I don't know if my alerts went off. Maybe Mixed It Up is
Oh,
fucked up
and
right
if
now
you
because
find
my
journals
power
from
died
the other
earlier.
Expeditions, make sure you save them for us.
I also missed Mel. I'm sorry, Mel. None of the alerts are going off. That's weird. Oh, Jesus. Calic! 4 months, one of the best ringleaders around. I honestly loved your streams and content ever since I discovered you a while ago. I can't wait to see what future holds, and I love being a depart. Oh, Calic! Aw, it's okay. We got new shit coming on Tuesday. We'll have a brand new refresh.
I shall faithfully.
And we'll see how bad my computer is going to lag because of it.
Strange and wondrous thing.
Oh.
And
Oh.
Nevrons.
Nevrons?
I can do that. And in return, do you solemnly promise to take care of the Shield Dome while I'm gone? I'm
Shield
entrusting you with
Dome? What
safety
the
of
hell is
Lumiere.
that?
I promise.
I have several questions!
Adria?
Yeah, my model's lagging weirdly.
I'll use everything you taught us, Monsieur G.
G.
I should check on Maya. She's probably alone, as usual.
Okay, so we're missing another token. Where would we find this other token? Who haven't I talked to? You? Where are your shoes? Wait, was she the one playing the guitar?
You need a drink.
Go away, Gustav.
Aw. Aw, man. Aw, man. Okay, who could we possibly be missing? Can I do like more trivia with you? Okay, that's all. He just does the end of our conversation from before.
Go have some drink.
Come, let's play some cards.
Well, it doesn't seem like I can actually play cards with him, so...
Wow.
I'll just say hi, dropping. Dogs out in France. There's this lady in the tram. You find out why she doesn't have shoes. Oh, okay. Who is it? It's not her. I don't think it's this guy.
I just finished calibrating the Lumina converter.
Perfect.
Hey,
Okay.
does Lune seem preoccupied to you? She's been distant.
Her shoes were 33 years old. Oh my god, shut up.
Well, it's Lune.
This feels different.
Maybe. Let me go. I'll go check the
I
stairs.
haven't noticed anything, but you know her better.
Maybe it
Have
is
you
this
talked to her?
guy.
No, she doesn't like people prying. I've known her since we were 6. She hates personal questions.
Ah, right. You were both apprenticed to her parents.
Yeah. Let's just say they ran a tight ship.
Oh. Okay.
I can imagine.
All right. Maybe now we can try
You
talking
need
to her again.
Go away, Gustav.
Damn it. Who haven't I talked to? Talk to you. You. Do I have to go talk to Mel? Is Mel the only one I haven't talked to? Okay. So yeah, I guess now we gotta.
I knew I'd find you here. Having second thoughts about the expedition?
She's so small.
More ready to go than you are.
Okay, that's probably true, honestly.
Yeah, I know.
That's it? Did we just get the awkward stare for this
Look, I
dialogue?
know we've been over this, but as your guardian, I need to say this one more time. The rest of us only have a year left, but you've got 9 good years before your gommage. You don't need
Yeah.
to leave yet.
Yeah, that's...
It's a
yeah,
lot to
she's...
risk.
Wait, no, 9 years. Oh, no, I'd have to do the double the math.
One
So yeah,
year
she's...
out there is better than
Okay,
9
she is
years
16?
in here.
Okay.
I know you think that, but it's...
So... Technically reducing by 1 each year as she grows older by 1 each year would have to essentially double the speed. Means she would have to be an 18-year difference from now. She's 15.
If anyone should stay, it's you. You have friends and family
She's
who want you.
15!
So do you.
No, I don't.
Emma thinks of you as family.
Win gommage? Omelette de gommage.
Lumia is not my home. Not the way it is for you.
That's math.
Besides, this way I can keep an eye on you forever.
Birth month relative to gommage. Yeah, I was basically
she
brain
needs eyes
balling it.
Shush.
My 33-year
You're lucky
old
you have a sister who
gommage.
cares.
Oh no.
Doubly lucky, since now I have 2.
All right, enough chit chat. Come on, old man, let's have a duel.
Oh, we fighting her for real this time?
You're pretty much the oldest man in Louvier now, no? Come on.
Ah, that's technically
This
true.
time, I'm not messing around.
Hell yeah, come here, bitch. I swear this dot got wider. I swear it got wider. Flubbed that one. Jesus,
no
that
shame
hurt.
losing to a superior fighter.
Oh, Jesus. God damn it!
Hope your Lumina converter works better than your jewelry.
So yeah, the dodge one was just, I was like, why is it doing like the slow motion thing? But yeah, it was because I'm fucking stupid. Dare I? I dare. I dare. I just need to get better at the timing. God damn it! Fuck that one. Fuck that last one. Jesus. Okay, I don't have enough AP for that. God! Damn it, son of a fucking bitch, dude. This is hard.
For those who come after.
See, there's some damage. Ah, I flubbed that one. I don't think I could deal enough damage to her. Unless I could completely dodge and or parry all of her attacks. Okay, that did fucking nothing. God damn it! Seriously? It's like, it's the delay in between attacks that I'm just like, okay, 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 okay.
Now, don't get too confident.
No, I want to do that again. No, I want to win. Fuck. Wait, I could overcharge again? I thought it spent it. Yes, Roderick? Oh, hold on. I just heard thunder.
Ah, Emma's here. Your sister's going to be looking for you.
Oh, do we
beloved
finally get to
chief
meet the
counsel.
sister?
Yeah, I should
It was
go.
available again? Oh, I thought it was spent,
Don't get
so I
too
didn't
drunk
didn't
tonight,
look.
Okay?
Take
My
some
darling
goose.
sister has
Goose.
arrived. She'll kill me
What does
if
that
I don't
goose say?
goodbye.
Okay. Okay, I'm going fine. Can I retry it? I wonder. Ah, do we dare? Do we dare? Yeah, we dare. We dare. Yeah. Damn it!
No shame losing to a superior fighter.
Parrying is much
Your
harder than
Lumina
dodging.
converter works better than your dueling.
Okay, so we don't have enough. Oh, wrong button. The thing is, I'm using a PlayStation controller, so I'm also like half mixed up on some of the things I need to click. Damn it! I don't have enough AP. Okay, yeah, I have the perfect parry.
For those who come after.
God anticipate that every fucking time. I hate it. But yeah, see, y'all can't quite see it, but it's behind me. I don't have any charge. Okay. I have 8, but yeah, let's do this to guarantee we win. Oh no, wait, that's only gonna give me the. Oh, I shouldn't. I should just try to dodge. Unless. Itch. Well, that's it. Did I only have 1 shot? I guess I only have 1 shot. Motherfucker! Seriously? Oh, I didn't realize it was AP spending.
Now, don't get too...
Yes! Fuck you, come here. Jesus. Oh, come on!
No shame losing to a superior fighter. Hope your Lumina converter works better than your dueling.
Oh, I heard more thunder. I heard more thunder. Ah, Biddles! I'm sorry the raid didn't go off. Welcome in, Raiders. Oh my god. Seriously? I'm getting my shit kicked in, just in case you can't tell. I'm really bad at this game. There we go. There we go. There's some counters. How you doing, Biddles? Welcome in, Raiders. Might be better trying to parry that attack? Maybe. Maybe. Thing is, I can't figure out if I need to dodge early or if I need to dodge on time. I think I need to dodge early and I need to parry on time. But... okay.
For those who come after.
Oh, damn it. Welcome in, Raiders. Those of you who don't know me, my name is Mar, and I'm the ringleader of the Dark Carnival. I typically play games that are dark, spooky, terrifying, or just whatever my little inclinations like to get into. God damn it. God fucking damn it, dude. Nailed it! It just took... how many tries? 3? 4? Was it 4 tries?
Congratulations, you beat a teenager.
Hey, okay, so yeah, that's how we get the other token. So I was gonna have to do that regardless. Same with dodge. Okay, if you say so. How was your stream, Biddles? Did you have a good time? Did you have fun? Prematurely getting hammered because of it. The thing was, though, is like with the animation, he would still be stepped back and then take damage.
All right, let's see what you've got.
Okay, what can I get? Hey, new hair. Let's go. I hate it.
Voila. Looking very fine indeed.
I hate it.
You'll die with a gorgeous head of...
I hate it. Take it back. Take it back. Where is it? Where is it? Wardrobe. Give me my messy ass hair back. Okay, but what about this dude? What do I do with this dude? Is there anything else I did? Would have gone longer, but chat told me to stop for my health. Are you okay? Is your voice still shot? Oh, wait, we need to talk to his sister. Yes, he does. He definitely has enough hair for it.
Honors us with her presence.
Chief Counselor?
What? Still mad I'm going?
This is the definition of a fool's quest. My brother's not usually
Voice
a
shot,
fool.
tongue key. Oh, that's right. You got your piercing. That's right. That's right. That's right. How is it? What does it feel like?
You and I both know
I don't have
the
any
political
piercings.
complexities
I want to get
that
piercings.
necessitate the expedition. It's vital for morale.
Someday.
Speech.
Someday.
They might just find a guillotine.
Not how
for
thick
you
that bun
too.
was? Okay, yeah, you're probably right about that one.
There are so many things you can
I only get
contribute to
piercings on the
here
model,
and
but these are the piercings that I
It'll
want to
have a
get,
real
so I put them on the model. Can you
Em,
speak
you're
metal
doing
now?
Great work, really.
Oh.
Getting things ready for the last generation. You've got it well in hand here. Let me do my part out there.
The
And
last
win us a chance
generation?
to live.
We're never going to see each other again.
Imagine if he, like, because the reason I feel like this is the game is that we were actually going to come back at the end. And can you imagine the nana boo boo that's going to come from
busy
that?
anyway. I barely see
Sup, sis? I lived, bitch.
Just take care of Mayel, okay? Can't believe you're letting her go with you.
Me?
Can't talk her out of
You're
it.
her guardian too. You stop her.
Surprisingly painless. The recovery hurts more than the piercing. Really?
We're her guardians.
That makes sense.
Not her jailers.
That makes sense. I've considered getting a split tongue at some point. Because I think they're
really wants
cool.
off this island.
And they're one of the easiest body modifications to hide. Sup, sis? I got a new haircut. Immediately
Don't you have
fucking
the speech,
snips
do you?
off the bun.
You mean the one you so kindly wrote for me?
Just suggestions.
Really?
I thought it might help you
Really?
understand.
Do it, get some metal. I have the double helix too. But sucks if you're a side sleeper. Mine not, the
do
way I sleep changes based on the
Understand.
night.
I just...
Like sometimes I'll fall asleep on my back. Sometimes I fall asleep on my stomach. Sometimes it's side. It's really weird.
Anyway. Yeah, time for my speech.
My sleeping patterns, okay, is this right? Do we want to do this? Am I missing anything? Like right now, am I missing anything? Including like the old key or anything to do with the Picto, the broken Picto that I picked up? Split tongue contains 2 different drinks. But I spice up which side? Hilarious. Okay, do I... The thing is too, is I have an extra like pillow that's like really soft. Also, Sling and Levi, thank you for the follow. I'm sorry I'm missing you guys. My power went out earlier in stream, and since then, Mix It Up has been kind of fucked. Let me actually do a thing really quick. What I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna close Mix It Up and reopen it. And then let me see if maybe that'll get it to work. Give me just a second. We're also about 3 minutes away from an ad break. Ho ho ho, JRPG time. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Hi, Odd Firefox. To try and use the old key. I don't think so yet. Or was there a chest that I missed? I figured these were items for later. All right, there we go. There we go. Okay, let's wait. Let's wait. Let's wait. I may be wrong. I could be wrong. I don't think there's anything to use it on yet. I feel like there would be like something around here. Okay, I can't get back there. Ham? Jesus, look at the size of that ham. Nice. Nice. All right, we'll see next time somebody does something if... Oh, Valkyria! Oh, shit, it still didn't go off. That is annoying. Want a non-slippery tip? Sure. What's up? Am I missing something? Give me that ham. Or Dane, are you going to eat the ham one block at a time? Also, hold on a second, guys. I now need to go swap over some streams. So let me go ahead and do that. And also, if you hear that rumbling, that is not Coco. That is the thunder outside. So there is a possibility of my power going out again. Oh, I already got the, like, I got the bun, I got the old key from this lady, and I got this guy's Picto already. Do I need to do something with them? Do I need to, like, go to inventory? Well, it doesn't look like I can do anything with these.
You won't regret it.
Okay, that's all he says.
Voila. Looking...
I don't have the hair. I already took it down and she doesn't even notice.
Take good care of it. God.
Yeah, okay, so... Okay, I figured that they were things for later. So we're actually gonna pause here because we have less than a minute until the ad break. And then as soon as we're done with that, we'll do like the speech and then we'll get into the main part of the game. So, and I need to run to the bathroom. So give me a couple minutes. Oh, those, I can only carry one of each health potion. Oh my God. Interesting. Okay. All right, guys. We'll be back in a few minutes. I will give you all the music. Don't burn anything down. Don't set anything too much on fire, but I'll be back shortly. And then we can actually get to the meat and potatoes of this game. All right, chat. I'm sorry that took so long. I was still looking at the thing that a family member was messaging me, and I still can't find what the fuck they're talking about. Also, hold on a second. There we go. That's a little bit better. If y'all hear that, that's the thunderstorm that's happening outside. I was muted, but it started pouring ridiculously hard to the point where it was just thrumming inside the house. And I'm sorry if I look funny because I'm currently leaned forward. Oh no. Oh no. Y'all heard that, right? Y'all heard that, right? I was gonna say, yeah, I saw the lightning out of the corner of my eye. And I was like, that's gonna be huge. Oh no. I also can't move forward right now because Coco is currently in front of me on the floor. Live lightning stream. Like I saw the flash, but I didn't see like the crack. I didn't see like the actual lines. But I can't really move forward because Coco's under my desk. Hi, baby, come here. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm leaning down outside of camera view to scratch Coco. She doesn't like thunder and lightning. Hi, Stinky. I know, but I need to get closer. I need to get closer. Come here. You do stuff because of the storm. Do not feel pressure to stay. Oh no, I don't usually. Hold on a second. There we go. I'm not all that concerned. My house is quite safe. My neighborhood is quite safe. The power going out earlier, I can only guess was like, I don't know. It was just as the storm started. So maybe like the local power station hadn't prepped for the storm. Maybe, I don't know for sure. But regardless, let's get back to being French. Motherfucking French. All right, we got to do her speech. Yes. Proceed. Do I get a cutscene? Is this our exposition moment? Is this our exposition moment? Also, maybe I should turn down the maximum frame rate. Maybe I should turn it down to 60. But I don't want to hit start right now because I feel like it's going to skip this. Not the French.
Expeditioners.
So let me take a drink of water. Pass it on? How dare you?
We honor your dedication. We do not take for granted. That you dedicate your final year of life to keeping hope alive for all of Lumiere.
Nothing?
Some of you are
there it
leaving
is.
to change the world.
Y'all are just gonna get to hear the lightning
Others
through my
to
microphone, which is
discover the
very
secrets
funny.
of our universe. Some to protect loved ones. Others to find meaning in our all too short lives. As you sail into the unknown, know that Lumiere stands with you. When you battle the Paintress,
is this?
Know that Lumiere fights
I wonder
with
if
you.
the expeditions ever actually made it to the Paintress. Because they
Let the
said Expedition
stones of her
0 was the
monolith
only one to come back. So I'm guessing all of the other expeditions were wiped out.
Unable to paint another death. Let the stars no longer be hidden.
That is a terrifying crow's nest. Where's the banisters?
Let the world once again watch the sunrise without the shadow of her cursed figure. May the wind of renewal take you to the ends of the earth.
Maybe it could actually be further away than it is. Maybe she's actually absolutely ginormous, which is why they can see her over the horizon. So maybe we do have like a long way to go. Oh my god, the scrap metal bow.
Tomorrow comes.
Bow, bow, bow. Be-Bible bow. Oh my god, the ship is actually made out of fucking scrap metal.
Expedition 33.
Think this is a fun game they're willingly playing and the start button is changing the numbers? Oh my god. She changes the numbers not because she knows what's happening, but because she's just like, if they send people after me if I do this, I get to play a game. Oh. Oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Okay. Yo, where's my serious... Are you really... Is she still barefoot? Is she still barefoot? She's also my favorite character, I'm not gonna lie. And it's not because she's barefoot. It's because she has badass tattoos and cool hair. Hello? Hello? Okay, so there's people out here. That's Alan, right? God, the thump of the cane. Thing is, too, is he's not even like hitting it on the ground that hard. It's very interesting that it's doing the almost TikTok tapping. Nothing's quite as terrifying as an old man.
You're old. How did you survive the Gommage? Which expedition are you from?
Oh! He's dead. He's dead, right? Oh yeah, he's dead. He's so dead.
Fall back!
Captain's already dead. It's the guy from the Continental. It's, oh God, what's his name? Damn it, what's his name? He's dead in the most French way. Decapitation.
Man! Stop! Come on, we need to go!
Okay, so this explains why your team is so small, because they basically got fucking wiped out upon arrival.
He's not following. Putain! What the fuck? Who the fuck was that?
That! What do we do now?
I'm gonna guess that's probably the cause of why all of the other expeditions were wiped out.
The indigo tree.
I don't like it when it suddenly feels like you're at the bottom of the ocean.
Run!
Hands.
Keep going! Come on! Move! Fucking snap out!
He's gone. So are they, I can't tell if they're blind or not. No, they can see, okay. Oh, they're seeing the magic. I think? Maybe? Maybe not. Oh! Well, great game, guys. Game's over. Gustav. From one Lucian to another Lucian, adieu. Oh, weirdly enough, I just looked outside. It looks like the storm's already over. Okay, I'm very curious to see where this is going now.
Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm! Wait. Everybody
See, at least everybody stayed calm. It's fine. It worked out. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fine. Wiggy wiggy, Gustav. We gonna get a solo fight? Is that what this chapter is? Is it gonna be solo for most of it? The thing is, I'm not sure. Maybe he got swatted down somewhere. Also, there's something interesting on the wall, unless that's part of the ship. By save, so I have no info? That makes sense. Okay. Okay. Flower. Ah, yes. Concussion. Please don't be somebody's eyeball in your mouth. Please don't be somebody's eyeball in your mouth. Gustav, you shouldn't fall asleep. You have a concussion. That's understandable. It's also, I'm not super harsh on like spoilers or anything. Usually I ask for specific things I want to know. Would there be an eyeball in this? I don't know. Somebody shoved one in his mouth. This place is shockingly pretty. Shockingly pretty. Why are the flowers glowing? Okay. Okay, let's go. Are gorgeous? Oh no. Okay, what is that? It looks like metal. It's a statue. It's a warped statue of some kind. Oh! Expedition status. You can briefly check the expedition status and use a chroma elixir to recover health without interrupting exploration. Oh. Current area. Expedition's current objective. Findings for exploration. Current health of expedition. Current amount of chromas. Is in bad shape. Use a chroma elixir to fully heal all party members. Chroma elixirs replenish at expedition flags. Okay. Is this... Okay, I guess that's what we're doing. Estes class, that's what it seems like. So there are a lot more. Ah, there's like a flagpole there, I see. Okay. I see. What is... Oh, okay, it's a thing. Wait a second. Is this a Hydron thing? Are we in Zendikar? I think we may be in Zendikar, guys. It like marches too. Wait, that's cute. Free aim. Free aim is a good way to hit flying enemies as well as targets in weak points. Try aim. Weak points. Free aim shots. Maybe the head? That'll do. Let's go back. And then I still have enough to do this. Oh, damn it. Okay. Okay. That worked out. That worked out. I flubbed. I was like overestimating it the first time, and I was lucky that the animation was short enough that I could just wait and just do it again. Was it me who made that? I believe you. I believe you. Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I figured. When we get to the flags, they like replenish. So that's why we only have like one of each right now. Me when I get random chest pain. Me getting random chest pain. What is that spear? Hold on. If I turn around, is that spear still there? Oh no, it's here. Seems like it's solid metal. Okay then. What do? just keep going, I guess? It's too organized to be made by it. Is it? I know it's a grapple, but why are there so many extra ones here? Yoink! God, that's cool. All right, let's keep moving. Oh. That doesn't bode well. But I can't tell if that's our expedition because... Oh, is there a sash? Oh, I can't tell. I can't tell. Damn it. Okay. Who do you think is turning people to stone? Jesus, this game is gorgeous. I'm gonna say, yeah, is there a Medusa here? Can I date Medusa? Please tell me I can date Medusa. I would like to date Medusa. Your mom? Yeah, and? Okay. The numbers aren't on the sash. These are all the spears from those golems, too. So... is this a single expedition? Is this a bunch? Regardless, this is probably an old expedition. Because their numbers aren't here, and their uniforms seem... Did y'all just hear that? I just heard it sounded like somebody goes, shh. Okay, yeah, I guess we're going down into the bowels. With the blood mist. I'm sure that'll be fine. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I don't like this. Thank you for the self-care, Delta Wolf. Flesh cave. Flesh cave. Uh-oh. Okay, so some of them, if not all of them, are still this expedition's. Oh. Jesus fucking Christ. Do you think he's had a thought at any of these moments where he's just like, yep, it's already over. We're already done. Oh my God. Gun. Oh God. Okay, that explains the content warning when I open this game. Yeah, that was one of the girls that we were talking to at the party.
You do that, we both die.
It's Loon!
Hey.
Oh boy, ghost.
Fucking hell. Wake up, Gustav.
What did you do?
The others.
I know.
She grabs his hand
You're
up
the
the
only
upset. You
ones
talking about the lady with the spear through her?
You don't get to die.
Baldur's Gate meets Dishonored? No, actually. This is more like JRPG meets Souls-like.
Look around, look.
This is not a foregone conclusion. When one falls, we continue.
The problem is the lip sync, though, is French.
Get up.
So...
we need to find a safer place. There are Nevrons around.
You know.
This is not the place.
Hey, at least the really cool girl's the one that's still alive. Liza P meets Fire Emblem? Kind of, yeah. Oh,
The
hi!
converter seems intact. It's about time we test it in real conditions.
Seems intact? Where? Where? Have they even shown us what the Lumina converter looks like? Is it his arm? I still don't know what it is. I still have no clue. Double shields! Double shields! Oh, the music. Ooh, wait, she's got a cool as shit weapon. Alright. Jeez, he's beefy. Rune stains. Skills generate elemental stains. Your skills also consume specific stains to enhance these abilities. There are 5 types: ice, fire, lightning, earth, and light. Light stains can be consumed in place of some other stains. Okay. Cycle between the different elements to get the most out of her skills. Generating stains. Starting skills are Ice Lance and Immolation. Ice Lance is an ice skill that generates 1 ice stain and 1 light stain. Okay.
Ice shut.
Ooh. Oh, it's weak to ice. Okay, the portier is weak to ice, takes 50% more damage from Ice Lance. Most enemies have elemental affinities. Okay.
This world is what you need, where the monsters roam and the
wait, there's
demons
an
all
absorb
feed.
mechanic? Uh-oh. Supposed to be to reduce the speed of character by 25%. Nice. Nice. Welcome in, Raiders. How was your stream? How was Split Fiction? Who are you playing with? Who are you playing Split Fiction with? I hope you had a good stream. Ida, if you need to do what you usual shenanigans, like hit the stream, hit bed, because I'm pretty sure it's late over there. I totally understand. Thank you so much for the raid. I hope you had a good stream. Use magic with her feet. So she what? Did I miss it? I thought she was just hovering. Need to prep. Have a good night, Hida. Thank you so much for the raid. I hope you enjoyed Split Fiction. Expedition counters. Some characters can attack the whole expedition at once. Ah. Okay, that was cool. That was cool. I kind of flubbed that first quick time, but that's okay. Linda has 1 ice stain and 1 light stain. Immolation will consume the ice stain to deal increased power. Light stains will be consumed if no corresponding elemental stains are available. I like Loon.
Feel the burn.
Okay, stat effect deals damage over time, possibly affected by multiple instances of burn, which increases. Ooh! Nailed it. Nailed it. Real quick. Hello. Oh, Jesus. Oh, that'll do. Dodger. Gain 1 AP on perfect dodge. Once per turn. Ooh. Ooh. Keep seeing everyone playing this. It looks so good. It's so much fun.
We did it, Gustav.
I really enjoy this game.
Let's see if your invention lives up to its
This actually was a key that was given to me, so I was lucky enough not to have to spend money on it. Oh, is that the converter?
It really works.
Her teeth.
We're not dead yet.
But welcome in, Spider-Punk. How are you doing?
Come on. There might be other survivors at the Indigo Tree.
I'm also seeing some like shimmering on like their shoulder stuff, and I still wonder if that means anything. I don't know. I do not know whatsoever. Oh, okay, that's Dodger. Oh, whoops. Pictos can be equipped to increase character stats. Higher level Pictos grant better stats. Each character can learn Luminous associated with each Pictos. Luminous can be equipped to the Lumina menu. Using Luminous points can trigger effects without equipping corresponding Pictos. To equip the Lumina, okay. Go here. Okay, and I'm guessing I can only equip one per person. Yeah, okay. I'm curious, after I've like had it for a couple battles, is there any reason to leave it equipped? Like, does the passive become, does it become like automatic or? Oh wait. Passive effects that you can activate once you've mastered the corresponding Pictos. Pictos is mastered after winning 4 battles with equipped. Luminous is learned for all characters. Ah, okay. Okay, so after it's been learned from a character, but I can only have one active at a time. Activated by currently equipped Pictos can't be deactivated. Okay. Ooh. Shown here, each Lumina costs a specific amount of points to activate. The more points the character has, the more Lumina they can activate at the same time. Ah! Okay. I think I'm actually going to swap who has this equipped. Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna make him the Dodger. I say that as if like I love her. There was no way this was this many people on that boat. I'm telling you that right now. Wait. Her coat's asymmetrical. Character ruined. Heater Raid, welcome in, Media. How are you doing? Okay, we already knew that. Oh, she hovers when she sprints. Okay. I'm also trying to look around for like more chromas or anything. I don't like those bulbs. Splash? Splash? What splashed? Went to take a bath and landed here? That happens. Yeah, he just off to bed, so he'd rigged it in over here. Okay, there's the flag. So that pole that we saw earlier was just, I guess, kind of nothing. Expedition flags set up by previous expeditions. Expedition flags allow you to heal, recharge your items, learn new skills, allocate your character's attribute points. Characters gain 1 skill and 3 attribute points per level. Oh, I didn't even notice we leveled up. Rest for 1. Okay, so he has 3 points. He seems like his I guess each character is technically gonna have like, what's the word? Certain like things that are gonna be like useful. So I think all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do obviously 1 there. Oh, hey. It also gives defense. That's pretty neat. And then, oh, okay. So might is the same thing for everyone. So what I'm gonna do here, actually. Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that. Learn skills. So, okay, no skill points available. Yeah, those ones we start with. Marking shots. Powerful. Support skills. Okay. Ice Lance. Healing Light. So you can turn her into a healer. Immolation, Thunderfall, Wildfire, Fire Rage, Hell. Just Hell? Okay. Stormcaller. Extreme damage to all enemies. 8 hits. Each hit deals damage on a random element, can only be cast with 1 of all 4. Okay. All stains deal high elemental damage to target. Can break if 4 stains are consumed. Ooh. Gains 4 AP. If target's burning, consumes... Oh, interesting. But wait. Okay, there's Earth. That's why. I was like, where's the Earth stuff? And then what are these things? I wonder, these things on the far right. Terraquake? I'm looking at like the cost for some of these things. Interesting. Okay. I think this is gonna be fucking great. Enjoy your lurk, Gordane. All right. Let's go see what we can find. Oh, hi. Ooh. Gain an advantage. Okay. Oh shit, there's two of them. Uh-oh. That's fine though, we'll just do this. Okay. Regular attack. We got a regular attack.
A storm is coming.
And then skill.
Ice shatter.
Oh, I missed it. That wasn't fast enough. Damn it. I was over anticipating it.
A storm is coming.
Does anybody know if... Oh, wait, I can aim? Okay, it doesn't do much. I just wanted to see what it did. We'll just do a basic attack. I think that'll be enough. Yep, good enough. These turn-based things, I've been really enjoying them. Oh, did we get a new weapon? Is it better? Hell yeah, it is. Nice. Nice. Oh, whoops. Sorry. Aha! This is the guy. There's nooks and crannies here.
An advantage.
Oh, okay. Give me that. Wrong one. Give me. Okay. That'll be pretty. Oh, shit. I keep hitting the wrong key. All right. Oh, come here, bitch. Come here. Okay, it's another two. I keep just using Gustav for like the weak shots. Because it's nice. Because it's nice. That's actually pretty nice too. But we're gonna do this instead. Ooh. Oh shit. Oh, I didn't realize that was a quick one. I was expecting the charge up. Nice. More akin to Code Vein, like action RPG. I prefer these turn-based ones. I like these turn-based. Oh, use the camp to upgrade weapons. Oh. Okay. Something's up there. Hold on, how would I get up there? I don't know if I want to go inside that building, but there's something up there. Oh, god damn it. You say there's jump mechanics, but I don't think it's actually like the jump mechanics are actually part of it. Let me see, was there a way back here? No, there wasn't. Because usually climb spots are... Okay, I have an idea. Oh, hi. Okay, Chroma. Go see real quick. There's more over here. I am suspicious. I must have the loot.
We can use that.
For some reason, it seemed like there was going to be a path over here. I guess I was wrong. That's where we looked in earlier. Maybe it'll come out. Maybe we'll be able to pop out from the inside of this house, I guess. New model, or at least new to me.
Looks
How are you doing?
abandoned.
Hi, Dark. Shit's floating, yo. Oh, hello.
Nice.
Okay, this is another catalyst for weapons. Got it. Got it.
The indigo tree is not too far from here. If anyone else made it, they'll regroup there.
Yeah.
I still have questions about the indigo tree. All right, yeah, I think we're going up. I think it's very funny that they call this a rope. Meow. Okay. Still trying to figure out how to... Ah, there we go. Okay.
We can use that.
Energy tent. No idea what that is. Okay.
Nice.
Okay, just more chroma. Does anybody know if the number that shows up when I pick up chroma, is that the number of my total or the number of chroma that I picked up? Just from that one, like, pickup.
Here we are, huh?
Oh, we got another
Yeah.
big one.
The continent. The indigo tree's over there.
Wait, what the fuck? How do we... Okay, I have several questions. How could we have seen the monolith from where we were? Okay, we're gonna rest. Yes, rest. And then maybe we can learn some new skills. It has an indicator. Okay, yeah, we can. Nice. Single target lightning applies mark. I don't think we need this just yet because it's only the two of us. We won't quite get the like full extent. And then definitely thunder, right? It's definitely lightning, right? Because lightning's cool. Because lightning's very cool. All right, and then we want... Raise his health a little bit, and then we're gonna raise might quite a bit. Let's get that crit up a little bit. Because I think she has more, she's gonna have more bonuses from crit in the future. You're now behind the monolith? That doesn't... Maybe? Hold on. But that doesn't quite look like the same monolith, does it? Why would we sail all the way around to the back side of the monolith? Kind of like, no, we can just swap whenever we want. But right now we only have 2 characters. Whoops, my bad. Meow. It's very smooth, actually. It's usually not often like that. Hey, Mac. All right. What is that yellow bar underneath? Does somebody know? Yeah, we're gonna do this instead. Mark, status effect that increases the next. Yes, perfect. Because he's already weak to ice. We already know that. So we make her use ice lance.
Ice shot.
See, easy. Easy, baby. Okay. Yeah. Damn it. I keep hitting the same button to sprint in Persona. Because that was the last fucking game I played that was like this.
Nice.
Oh wait, that reminds me. Can we, real quick, at a camp? I guess this doesn't count as a camp. So I can't upgrade weapons or anything. That's fine. That's fine. If I'm directly sailing to her, maybe it would make sense to like a degree. Oh. What are you? I don't know how I feel about that thing. It looks cool. I don't know. I can't tell if it's a statue that's been like split and warped or if it's something else. Oh, the music is so good. Uh-oh. Cutscene.
Enjoy the show!
Louis Ray, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Ah, flying enemies. Okay. So. Oh, I was not paying attention. Okay, can I evade most damage from attacks or skills? Shooting is more effective against these enemies. Okay, I mean, that's what I figured. Dodge. Damn it. Should I dodge from things that are shooting at me? Or can I only parry melee ones? I'm adoring. I'm enjoying this. I'm also struggling a little bit with certain parts. Okay, that's for increased damage, but I don't have any of those. Okay. Woo! Woo! Sweating it out, baby. God, he has a lot of fucking... Uh-oh. That's fine. We'll just get rid of this one then. Dodge! Damn it.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Oh, son of a bitch, dude. Come on! Fuck that one.
No margin for error.
Oh, Jesus. Alright, hold on. I don't think I actually want to do that. Actually, I have 5. Oh, okay, that was actually enough to kill him. I wasted that other shot. And then from here...
Feel the burn.
Oh, come on! Motherfucker. I kind of got to parry everything. Can you parry range shots? Can you parry range shots? Okay, I did not realize that you could parry them. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, I tried to parry it at the beginning, but it didn't work out. Oh, you think I lost? You think I lost? Oh, who'da thunk? Who'da thunk? It's fine. It's fine. It's Git Good turn-based edition. Oh, I can't skip it. Let me skip it. Hello? Okay.
Oh! I'm ready.
Fuck that one. Fuck that one. Okay. Oops. Okay. Yeah, so just kind of just gun him down, basically. That works for me. It's just to get good. Okay, okay. I just wasn't sure if there were certain types of attacks. Okay, so we got Illumina. So... how do I... it's Pictos. How do I... Oh, I see. It's just already there, I guess, while it's equipped, right? Okay, it's just there. Which is fine. Fine, fine, fine. Ah! There we go. So then she can have that. Well, we just need one more fight for the critical burn one. But right now, Luna's the only one that can deal burn damage. Whoops. Going up.
These blue trees.
Something's disrupting the chroma around here. Be careful.
Disrupting the chroma, you say? Good lord, the music. The music, man! Alright. Hell yeah. Alright, we got another big guy over here. That's a climb wall. Let's go get this guy. Bitch! They're disrupting Maird's chroma? Maybe. Opera GX. Use hey, listen, I used Opera. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. Oh shit, I didn't realize there's other guys here. Fuck that one up. That's fine. Let's get rid of the big guy first. Actually, go back. She has 4 points. It costs 4. Damn it. That was nearly enough. Fuck that one too. Oh, come on! God damn it! I hit it. See, like now he reacts. I'm upset. I'm upset. Fuck you. Son of a bitch, dude. Okay. Oh my god. It feels like it's like changing between slow-mo and other shit. And I can't fucking tell what's happening. Oh, come on! I even see to the top, this is so-and-so attacks slowly. Okay, I'll just wait. I'll wait it out a little bit and then I fucking hit it and then no. No. You're the goddamn worst, game. You're the goddamn worst.
Blue trees.
Yeah, shut up.
Disrupting the chroma around here. Be careful.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oh, son of a bitch. I couldn't tell which one it was fast enough. Okay.
Ready to obey.
Okay. I hate you. I hate you so much. I'm just gonna shoot him. I'm just gonna shoot him. Oh. You blame the French? You better fucking believe I'm blaming the French. Okay, we got the critical burn.
This will be useful.
Oh, whoops. Wrong button again. Okay, I guess we're going to that climb wall. Nothing up there. Doesn't look like it. I just figured this guy was patrolling over here because there was stuff over here and I wanted that stuff. The stuff will be mine. I like stuff. I hear clinging. I thought I heard clinking for some reason. That was weird. Okay. Good night, Ordine. Sleep well.
Someone came here before and set up these handholds.
Probably Expedition 69. The Climbers Expedition.
Let us thank them for that.
Wait, do they really have a specific expedition whose purpose was to... Who was the Onion Knight looking guy? An apartment? No, Grins. Carrie, get the gun. Shoot Grins. Jar? Oh no, we have jars in this game too. That looks like an ocarina.
Something's wrong with it. Why isn't it
Vanish doesn't work,
us?
so we don't use stream elements here. We don't use stream elements here,
It
fool.
certainly attacked them.
Suspicious white pattern going up it. An
expedition journal.
That's a journal.
81.
What? So that tech thing that we saw on the table was our specific.
And lay the trail for the ones who come after.
So the thing that she was looking up for on the table when we were back at the party, that was our journal. Carrie, I don't mean time him out.
Expedition 81, Renee.
When I say shoot
Huge
someone, that just
discovery.
means delete
this is
the message.
First Nevron with whom we've been able to communicate. It seems stuck in this cave.
Even the hardtack can't break it.
Is, as
Hardtack
usual,
didn't work.
deeply suspicious, but this could change our entire understanding of Nevrons and the Painters.
Cool. Cut out. Cut out. Okay. We're not here to talk about Loon's feet.
The dead here don't disappear like in Mumia. Their chroma stays inside their bodies.
Oh.
On the beach.
Okay.
Some did disappear.
He wasn't a Nevron.
Something about the way Nevron's kills seems to affect our chroma.
Is that why everybody's turning
Perhaps
to
your friend
stone?
here can enlighten us.
Is Britain? It could be. It could be. If it was across the ocean. What is up with the tree and the spear, though?
It really does speak.
What do you mean, light?
Okay.
Did you kill these people?
Okay, so these creatures are her paintings. Okay, can I get a snooze on the ad break, guys?
Painted? By the painters?
Thank you. Paintress.
If we bring it
I mean,
light,
he doesn't really chaw.
perhaps we can learn more.
Is Queen Victoria?
I'm not sure that's a good idea.
You may be onto something here, MP. You may be onto something. You could be onto something. All right. Is that it? Do wonder who this is. It looks like they turned into the root. I sit in darkness, awaiting your light. Marked a path that we must walk, but I sit here. I sit in darkness. Without light, I cannot follow her. I must bring forth a flame that lights the path forward. Something flammable, then. So is he like a living, like, censer? Censure? Is that what it's called? I think that is what it's called. Yes, rest. Okay. Oh, there's a remove from party option. That's interesting. That's interesting. But this is gonna autosave, right? This has been auto-saving, right? Censures being banned. I think we're good. I think we're good. All right, guys, that's gonna be it for today. I need to get some other food today because all I have is yogurt right now. But we are going to be back tomorrow. Tomorrow's Thursday. Tomorrow's our spooky yapping day. I don't think I have anything already on the docket. I'm pretty sure I don't have something already on the docket. But I will find us something. We may do some paranormal investigation tomorrow or something. It is currently up in the air. But we need to figure out who to raid in the next 3 minutes before shit hits the fan. What is Tolkien doing? Subnautica. Art. Sailwind. V Rising. We could do some V Rising. V Rising wouldn't be the worst thing. Wait, somebody else is also playing V Rising. Huh. Did V Rising get a new update or something? What happened? Let me... I'm gonna throw y'all at Zozo again, I think. Yes, I'm gonna throw y'all at Zozo. But again, I'll be back tomorrow noon CDT. We probably are gonna be playing this game for a couple weeks. I don't know how long the game itself is, so we will see how long it goes. But until then, guys, thank you for being... Oh, it didn't work? Oh, I put Harrow Show. That's my own bad. Horror show. But what about butts? What about butts? Maybe it'll be quieter next time. Yeah, maybe we won't have like a thunderstorm going on and the power won't go out and shit. But until then, guys, thank you for being here. Actually, let's do real quick for the raid message. We're gonna do where. What is it? We'll just do like nature said no stream. Nature said no stream with the wet emotes. I mean, the game, it was... Oh, it was louder? Oh, I'm sorry. I should have turned it down. I'm sorry. But until then, guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for being awesome. Thank you for joining the show. Have fun. Go give Zozo some love. Don't die.